What's going on, guys? My name is Will. I'm 24 years old and I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Over the past year of my life, I've set out to create something I'm truly proud of. It has been the biggest project that I've ever taken on. It has tested me through and through, but we made it to the other side, and I just wanted to kind of tell you guys, hey, I often get asked how I got into this industry. It's a very niche thing to do. It's a very unique thing to do. But I think I've got a pretty cool story to tell about it, and that's why I'm here today. All right, I moved you guys because it's windy out today, so bear with me. So a couple years ago, I think it was 2021 maybe, I had finished up what I was doing for work at the time. I was running a gutter business with a couple of buddies of mine, and after a pretty nasty fall off of a ladder, I decided I kind of wanted to live past 21, and so I decided to switch industries. And originally I was going to go move down to Florida and start pilot school. I was going to become a commercial pilot, and I thought that's what I wanted to do with my life. Before that happened, I had a couple of months of time to kill. And I don't know when the idea struck me, but at some point I decided I was going to buy out a camper van and go take a road trip. A couple months later, I found a 1993 Ford Econoline van that needed some work. She was a bit of a mess, and so I bought that and decided I was going to gut it and refresh the inside for it to be my home for the next 4 months. So I did that. I had about a month between when I bought it and when I had to hit the road. And so in a scramble, I ripped that thing apart and I put it back together as best as I could. I'd never done anything like that before. I had no experience with electrical, no experience with plumbing, no carpentry skills, nothing more than the average Joe would have. So it was definitely a little ragtag, but she made it across the country with no issues. Took me out there and got me home safe. And while I was out on the road, I was seeing all these beautiful rigs all over the place, and I was in awe. They were just incredible. And I started looking at how expensive these things were, and I was shocked and a little disturbed. I didn't think that you should have to buy a house, essentially, to experience life on the road. And when I was sitting in Yosemite National Park looking over the beautiful canyons, I thought to myself, I'm going to go home and I'm going to start a company that builds these out. Little did I know exactly what all went into it, but we'll get to that later. So I was driving home through Savannah, Georgia, and I found a 2012 Mercedes Sprinter van, a 144, and decided to buy it. So I got that back home, and essentially as soon as my Ford van was ready to go and hit the road, because I was going to sell it to fund this whole project, as soon as that was ready and it sold, I started work immediately on my Mercedes, on my first Mercedes, my first build to sell. On that one, I decided to go with an open layout because it's such a small space that featured a Murphy bed and a huge kitchen, as well as an extra office space. And that was the first experience I've ever had in doing any kind of real carpentry work. So I finished that in August of last year. And I wanted to test it out. And around that time, there was a van expo just north of Boston, Massachusetts, and I decided I'd go check it out. And that's where I met the guys that I'm working for right now. Chex Vanz out of Manassas, Virginia, had a vendor booth in the van expo, and I got to talking with them and decided, why not try and find a job doing this, make a little bit of money while I'm building these out. And that's what I did. So I got back, and I think around September of last year, I started working for them, which I'm still with them now. They're great guys. It's a great company, a wonderful work environment, and they do beautiful custom builds, which I'll leave a link to them in the description. And if you're lucky, you might even be able to meet me if you want. But anyways, that's where I learned the ins and outs of the trade. So over the past year, my skills have been honed in. I'm very fluent in electrical, plumbing, all the yada yada that comes into these because, like I said, I had no experience before my first build. But anyways, fast forward to September last year, I start working for them, and at the same time, I buy this thing out. This is a 2021 Mercedes 170. I bought this, and I wanted to build something really, really beautiful. This was kind of me proving to myself that I can create something that is worth it, that is worth, spending all the money on, and something's beautiful. So this was very meticulously crafted van. Every fine detail has been honed in, and I like to say the quality of work, if you were to compare it to my 1993 Ford build versus now, you would think they're two totally different people. I guess because in some senses I am a very different person now than I was then. I've learned a lot on the way, and it's been an incredible journey through and through. So fast back to September of last year, I start working with Chex Vanz in Manassas. I'm learning a whole lot, and around that time I find this build on Facebook Marketplace. It's a 2021 Mercedes Sprinter 170, and this build I wanted to do differently. I wanted to create something that I was truly proud of, something that captured the beauty of the outdoors while keeping you nice and comfortable while you're exploring them. Something that was totally different from my style, and I wanted to take all of the lessons that I learned on the first one and apply that to this. And it's a night and day difference. This thing is built solid. I've put 1,000 miles on it in testing, and it has performed flawlessly. Not a single issue going down the road, and I'm very proud of it. So this thing is up for sale now, and I will get to eventually doing a van tour. I don't have a lot of time on my hands, so I'm going to try and kind of do this as good as possible. I've never done any kind of YouTube or any videos like this other than a couple of reels on my Instagram, but yeah, we're gonna see. But that's essentially my story of how I got into it. I'd say the biggest thing that I learned, especially with this build, is that there are a reason that all those expensive vans are marked up to that price. Because everything in this build is the top tier, highest quality materials. All the components are top of the line, most reliable and efficient electronic components that you can put in these builds. And yeah, like I said, there's a reason that a van that's $200,000 is $200,000, as crazy as it might be. There's a lot that goes into it. Nonetheless, I love this thing. I can't wait to show you guys more of it and kind of express what made me fall in love with it. Unfortunately, she is up for sale, unfortunately for me, because I would love to keep it, but I also know that this is not for me, this is for somebody else. And I think that's probably the best part of doing this, because I think everybody wants to make an effect in people's lives. I think everybody wants to have a good impact and, leave the world a little bit better than you found it. And the biggest life-changing experience that I've ever had is that road trip I took 4 months ago. I'd never been west of the Rockies, west of Colorado before, and man, I tell you, it changed my entire life. And so if I were able to kind of facilitate that kind of experience for somebody else, what more could you ask for? So hopefully somebody can have a little bit of that experience with this build. Like I said, it's up for sale now. If anybody has any questions about this build or maybe a future build down the road, just hit me up. You can email me. I'll leave links to all my socials. You can message me there. And yeah, that's kind of it. It's a big experience, and I'm sure down the road I'll probably talk a little bit more about what I learned doing this build and how it affected me. But for now, I just wanted to introduce myself, and hopefully this is beneficial to you guys one way or another, because I know how much doing this has changed my life for better, mostly. And if this can help maybe inspire a couple of you, if you're thinking about maybe taking a road trip or buying a van, I'd say full send it. Full send it. It was the best decision I've ever made. Those experiences that I had on the road are going to be cherished in my heart forever. I'm going to remember every single one of them until the day I die, and I think that's something that's worth living for. So I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys are interested in this build, like I said, hit me up. If you're feeling generous, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Yeah, but I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.